All right, y'all, in today's video, we take a look at this super rare 1950 Ford Custom Two-Door. Stick around, you're gonna enjoy this. All right, y'all, let's pop the hood on our 1950 Ford Custom Two-Door. And before I do, real quick, I just want to tell you guys, so this car, the reason for the title and everything is because this car is very special, and I'm about to show you why that's the case. But if you know anything about this or what may have been available to the public back in the time that this car was produced, please drop a comment below. I'm always eager to have more information. I'm not able to find all the details on this because really there's just not a lot of the information out there and available. So if you have any of that information, again, please comment below. I'd love to learn more. But let's get under the hood of this Ford and show you guys what makes it so special. All right, I'm gonna try to do this one-handed, but there's gonna be some awkwardness here as I raise the hood and put the rod under to prop it up. All right, so here's your guys' first look under the hood of our 1950 Ford. Now, I am having to refilm this because I screwed up filming it the first time, and you know, I actually have a little bit more information now, so you might see a couple of things look like they're new or a little bit changed. And again, there's going to be more videos on this car, so just bear with me. But anyway, so if you know these cars at all, the first thing you're probably thinking to yourself is, okay, something's not looking right with that carburetor and intake, air cleaner. And that's part of the story on this car. So let's go ahead and take a closer look. And I'm going to do my best here to get you guys in and close so that you can read what it says on this label. And I don't know if you can see that, but it says Mercury Heavy Duty Air Cleaner. And this is not a standard carburetor like what you would see on a 1950 Ford Custom Two-Door. So what we actually have here is a Mercury engine, or at least it appears to be a Mercury engine from the period. Now, again, for those experts out there, you're going to notice things like the numbers on the heads, and there's a lot of information to be drawn in here. But what I want to focus on is the fact that we have a Mercury engine in a 1950 Ford two-door car. So first thing I asked myself is, okay, well, what's going on with that, right? Like, how did I end up with a Mercury engine? So I started doing some research, and basically the Mercury engine had a little bit more cubic inches. There's a different stroke on the crank, and the Mercury engine also had 10 more horsepower rated. So it was rated at 110 horsepower compared to the factory 100 horsepower of the 239 cubic inch Ford flathead V8 of 1950. So, okay, why do we have a Mercury? All right, somebody probably dropped a Mercury engine in here because I mean, this is a pretty cool car, and they might have wanted a little bit more horsepower. So at the time, the hot rods and all that were kind of gaining popularity, but this is a factory engine that made a little bit more power. So someone could say, okay, let's put that Mercury engine in a Ford. So, all right, that's all great. So we're moving on down the line, right? All right, well, we think we have a Mercury engine. Okay, we have a Mercury air cleaner, but we have Ford heads. And there's some information that, you're going to see later in the video that actually explains this. But again, when I was discovering this for the first time, you guys, I was trying to figure out how I had Mercury carbon intake with Ford later style heads, and just things weren't 100% adding up for me when I was first kind of digging into this car. So, all right, enough rambling for me. Now, let's get you to what the important part is. Now, behind this air cleaner, and on most, I guess all 1950 Ford cars at least, there is a tag on the firewall just behind the air cleaner here on this one that has the serial number for the car. And on this serial number, it's not as long as what a VIN number is today, but basically this serial number, let me see if I can kind of zoom in here for you guys. That serial number right there, I don't know if you can kind of see what I'm zooming in on. That serial number tells you a little bit about the car. Now, it doesn't tell you everything about it. It's not like a serial number of today or a VIN number where every detail can be identified, using that number. But it does tell you a little bit. And what it tells you in most cases is whether the car had a V8 from the factory, which would have been a B, and whether the car had an inline 6-cylinder engine from the factory, which would have been an H. So great. All right, we have two code options. Everybody knows that. 99.9% of these cars are going to have one of those two letters at the beginning of the serial number. Well, again, we've kind of got some weird things going on with this car already, so we're a little bit confused. And we come here to the serial number, and I'm going to work you guys in here as best I can. Let's see. We're going to zoom in if we can. I might just drop a picture of it in here, guys, because this gets a little bit hard to do with my camera and everything, but right there, I don't know if you can see that. All right, just came out of focus. Let's see. Come on. Okay, I'll just drop in a picture, but anyway, what we have at the beginning of the serial number on this car is the letter P, as in Paul. Now, that might not sound like a big deal, right? First thing, you go, okay, well, I have a P. What does that mean? Like, all of these are either a B or an H. So why do I have a P at the beginning of my serial number? So I started doing some research online, and what I came up with is that in 1950, the year of this car here, Ford offered the first police package available for their cars. Now, a designated police package, mind you, meaning that they purposefully did things to the car to make them usable for police use. Now, this is not to say Ford cars were not used as police vehicles before, but 1950 was the first year for Ford to designate a police package, essentially. And one of the options of the police package happens to be the 110 horsepower Mercury engine. Now, things are starting to add up in my head, right? We've got this 1950. It's got Mercury engine parts on it. And I didn't tell you guys this before, but I can just explain it real quick. But the intake manifold starts with the part number 8CM, which is, again, consistent with Mercury of the time, not a Ford. So anyway, we've got a P serial number indicating the police package, and we have a Mercury engine in our 1950 two-door. So basically what I've arrived at, my conclusion, is that this car was ordered special in 1950 or maybe 1949 with a 110 horsepower Mercury flathead in place of the standard Ford V8. And the only way that you could do that, which I don't even know if you could do in 1950, is to order the police version. So, again, guys, I don't know exactly what I have here. I have very limited information on this car. A couple other things, let me just show you guys, so that make this car unique. So from the factory, the Ford flatheads would have had a single exit exhaust. So basically, there's a manifold on each side. You can see here, see the manifold down there. Well, on the factory cars, the exit of the the driver manifold went forward under the front of the engine, connected to the front of the passenger manifold, and then the passenger manifold exited the rear of the manifold and went out under the car, and you had single exhaust on a V8. Well, this car, similarly and consistently with what the research I've done on the police package, actually has a factory looking, and I believe it to be factory, I haven't checked part numbers, but a driver's side rear exit exhaust manifold, making this car have dual exhaust. Something else, I'm going to climb under the car here real quick, that this car has that makes it unique. I'm going to get you guys under here as best I can. Let's see, right there. I don't know if you guys can see that, but that's the oil drain plug. And what's interesting about it, let me see if I can get a little better shot here. What's interesting about it is that there's a plate that the drain plug actually is threaded into, but that plate is bolted to the bottom of the oil pan. And again, further research, limited albeit as it is, the research says that the police engine would have come with a clean out port on the bottom of the oil pan so that you could actually clean and service the pickup screen, because of the, the heavier duty service that these cars were being asked to do. So in summary, I'm discovering all this again. I'm refilming this for you guys because I wanted to do a better job, and the first time I was like kind of figuring things out. So thank you for sticking with me this far. If you've stuck with me this far, and this would be a good time for me to ask you guys, like and subscribe. Like this video if you think it's cool. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more stuff like this. Just on this car alone, we have some really cool ideas coming up for videos. But anyway, shameless plug there. But back to what I was saying. We have a civilian-owned 1950 Ford with a P serial number. The only one I've seen, I know there's documentation that says that the P was the police package, but no one has one for sale that I've seen. There might be some in collections. I have no idea. Is this a rare thing? I think so. Does that make it valuable? Maybe, maybe not. I don't really have any idea. But the point is, this car is a time capsule and essentially was a hot rod. This thing was a hot rod. Today you can order a Mustang, Shelby, blah, 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 blah. Well, in 1950, their hot rod was something guys did under the shade tree with, Model A's and small blocks and, flatheads, putting flatheads. So, a factory-built hot rod really wasn't a thing of the times that this car was produced. And I have to believe the gentleman that ordered this car said, I want a black hot rod, two-door car. It's 1950, maybe I'm back from the war, I don't know, but so he ordered this car special. And the question is that again, if you guys have any information, how did a civilian order a police car? Were they available to the public? Again, I don't know, but thank you guys. So that's the overview of the engine. That's what makes this car rare. Now we're gonna jump inside, show you guys a bunch more of the story on this thing. There's a lot. There's original documentation in this car that is just unbelievable. We're gonna jump in. We're gonna give you guys a look at that. So thanks. We'll jump inside the car right here. All right, y'all. Now that we got the car cleaned up, you can really get a good look at it here. This hood ornament, pretty cool. Not factory to the car, but this would have been an aftermarket piece from, the 50s or maybe the 60s. But being that this car is a 1950, we have reason to believe that some of the minor customizations were done period correct. Pretty cool though. It's a pretty straight old car. Thinking that it has had one repaint. I'll show you why I believe that here in just a moment. But as you can see, it's definitely showing some age. Some of the chrome is pitted, and that's to be expected of a now 74, almost 75-year-old car. The fact that it's still in this condition this many years later is still quite amazing. Here's one area that leads me to believe that this car may have had a repaint sometime in the past. Not sure how well you can see that on camera, but there's a very distinct paint line right along this piece, this seam here. And I don't know from the factory if that would have done what it's doing, or if it's evidence that there has been a repaint. Also some evidence here along the back window that this car has had a coat of paint, at least another coat put on top of the factory coat. But overall still, very, very nice shape this car is in. Factory spotlight. And from what I'm told, these spotlights were not made by Ford. Each automaker would purchase the spotlight and then have their name put on the top piece. So you see how that piece is riveted and screwed on. But anyway, just a fun little fact there. Again, showing some signs of age, and just if somebody worked on this car and scratched the fenders up, or just no telling again what happened over time. But overall, again, this car is just in wonderful shape to be 70 years old. All right, let's jump inside this thing. So, like I mentioned before, definitely shows some wear. We've got some custom work here done on the door panels. This looks like just some weird, wallpapery stuff. I don't know what that is, but it's on both front doors, not the back. But anyway, we've got some antique duct tape work done here. Again, this car was on the road for 25 years, so definitely had some wear and tear. So this is pretty cool. On the pillar here, we actually have old, let's see if we can find one that's legible. So there you go, 11/10 of 75. It looks like 52,500 and something would have been when it was due. So this car has things done in 1974 at the Texaco place. Let's see, that's 68 there. They did oil. Look at that. But the odometer on this car is showing about 55,000 miles. So it's believed that this car has been off the road since 1975, which would be just about 49 years. So again, here I'll show you guys the odometer, 55,195. And that is 100% believed to be original mileage to this car. Even though it was driven 25 years, you know, it stayed in the same small town in Tennessee its entire life. So, you know, this car wasn't really driven that far. So, anyway, just showing you guys some of the interior here. We've got just a very basic radio set up. There's a clock in the dash, which is very cool. You definitely want to know what time it is when you're driving. This is our air adjustment system here. So we've got air, heat. Let's see, we got defrost, ventilate, off, medium, high temperature. And then there's another knob over here. Let's see. Blower. Okay. So we got some knobs and doodads here on the dash. What is this one? I don't know. Maybe that's a cigarette lighter. And then, of course, our radio. We've got some broken buttons here. This old plastic just doesn't hold up to the test of time. But very cool. Again, the other door panel has the same weird pattern, but it looks like original hardware. And then, of course, the aeroplane emblem. Pretty cool. You know, they were all about the space age stuff and the, you know, the new and exciting in that time. Let's see. We've got a map up here above the visor. Wow, look at that. Oh, multiple maps. Check that out. Wow, this just kind of, y'all, this adds a little bit of additional cool factor to the whole story, because someone traveled in this car. It's very clear. You know, they wouldn't have just had these maps for no reason back in that time. Let's see, what do we have? Maryville, Tennessee. Okay, it's a calendar. 71 and 72. Wow. Look at this. Let's see. Facts about Blount County. So that's near the area where this car was found. Near the area where the house, you know, that this family owned, which is where this car was found. Look at that. I wonder what it is now. Look, tax rate per $100, $325 or $221. Wow. 5 airlines, 2 railroads, 6 trucking carriers. This was all the important stuff about a place, you know, back then. I mean, y'all, this is crazy. How crazy that this car has this stuff inside. Oh, I didn't even notice this. Look, a Magic Air. I don't believe it's air conditioning, but I believe it does bring in air from outside via some vents under the hood. That's what I've heard about these. So let's see, anything else up here? Alcoa, we can't wait for tomorrow. Interesting. Not really sure what that is. Oh, there's another one up there. That looks like it for the visor. Very interesting. Over on this side we have, sorry for the lighting guys, but we've got this old towel. And I don't see any other documents up there. Let's check the glove box. So another option this car has that would have not been a standard offering would have been this key locking glove box. So if you push this in, the glove box opens. Okay, here we go. This glove box will hopefully tell us more of the story of this car, because I'm getting the feeling like it was just left in time. So let's see. Okay. First off, engine oil. So we actually have the original, like what appears to be painted on sticker. Maybe it is a sticker. I don't know. But guys, this is crazy. So looking inside here, let's just start over here. Oh, we have another clock that looks, yeah, okay, so I can hear pieces falling around in this thing. This clock must have been broken. So someone at some point replaced the clock in this car. What else do we have? Okay, so this is an advertisement, we'll call it, for a donation thing. Let's see, what else? Some matches. Maybe someone smoked. What is this? Myrtle Beach. Okay. Wow. So we have this hotel, which is in South Carolina, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and we had maps up here of North and South Carolina. So the story, you guys, is that I was wrong about the car not being driven a lot. It looks like this family must have used this car to travel. Look, more of the same. So they've got business cards from the hotel they stayed in Myrtle Beach. There's a bunch of them. Wow. Okay, let's see what else. It looks like we have another. Okay, what is this? Oh, so this is just one of those stickers that only was used once. So 44,782 was the mileage, 413 of 71. Okay, so that's pretty cool. Everyone needs a pencil. Oh, look, the insurance company. I bet you that was like the insurance company that they used for this car. What do we have? More Hotel Walker. So whoever was the owner of Hotel Walker must have really pushed this, or they were going to spread the word about this hotel. Got an old rubber band here. Can't believe that stood the test of time. Let's see, what is this one? This old paper is just so fragile. I'm trying to be careful. Wow. So I'm going to make sure I blur out all of the private information here, but this is a literal vacation notice for the employer that this person, the owner of this car, I assume, was taking a vacation day August in 1950. Holy moly. So they took a vacation from August 28th, 1950 to Sunday, September 10th, 1950. Wow. What a piece of history. I mean, it's meaningless as far as like if you were to find this on the street, this piece of paper would mean nothing to you. But like the fact that we're finding this in the glove box of this car that has just been preserved by, you know, the fact that it was parked in a place that didn't. Anyway, holy crap. So I bet there's 37 of those Hotel Walker business cards. Let's see, what is this? Oh, we have an ignition switch. I wonder, y'all, I bet that would have been the original, maybe? Would this have been the original? Someone tell me, would the original key... Yeah, it had to have. Ford, yeah. Okay, so we have what might have been the original key switch. Not sure why that's in the glove box, but... Oh, I'm losing everything over here. Y'all, I hope you've made it this far in the video. If you have, I really appreciate it. I'm taking my time going through the stuff on this car on video for you guys because this is crazy and I just honestly can't believe that this car is having all this stuff. So Ford owner manual, maybe? Ford owner portfolio. Wow. That's going to have some cool stuff in it. Let's see what else we have up here in the glove box. There's some more stuff down below. What are these? Fuses. So we've got some automotive fuses here. Look at that. Electricity safety valve. So they had some spare fuses in here, and looks like a spare light bulb. Pretty cool. Just the necessities, you know. Let's see, we've got another spare bulb. We've got a valve stem tool. Another spare bulb. Let's see what else. What is this? There's a picture in here, but I don't really want to grab it out because I don't think, you guys don't really need to see it. It's of a woman, though. I'll just say that. What is this? Overseas Road and Toll Bridge District. May 22nd. One way only. What? Colorado Springs, Pikes Peak Auto Highway? Are you serious? This ticket good for one passenger. The toll is for maintenance and improvement to the highway so that you may enjoy your trip to the top of the most famous mountain in the world. Holy crap, you guys. This September 5th. I wonder if that's the year 50. Because, okay. Y'all, call me crazy here, but I am really starting to think that, like, somehow... You remember that vacation request we just found, or approval, right? This guy. This is for August to September of 1950. This Pikes Peak dealio is dated 1950. September 5th, which would have been during this vacation time. So, and I'm betting this is something else from the same trip because it looks very similar. So this car was driven like it immediately after it was purchased, it looks like, because August of 1950. This is a 1950. I mean, I guess y'all tell me in the comments, did they sell the model year, next model year, the year before like they do now? Like, could you buy a 2024 and 2023? Or, you know what I'm saying? Y'all tell me in the comments, because I don't know if they could do that back then or not. But anyway, so okay, this car, based on the story we have now, oh look, there's something else. Hold on. Royal Gorge Bridge. And 2 adults. Okay, so we have 2 more, looks like tickets from something. Like more Hotel Walker cards. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to start loading this stuff back in there because I truly think that this should just be preserved. I mean, I don't even know what I'm going to do with this car, because like it almost feels like it just needs to be kept alone. So, all right, guys, let's take a look inside the Ford owner's portfolio here. Okay, so we've got more documentation here. This folded up piece of paper. I'll tell you what, oh, whoa, hold on a second. Second thing in the book there, the engine in this car, and then it has a motor number, a date installed 10/13 of 70. So let's see, the engine in this car has been completely reconditioned by authorized Ford remanufacturer and is fully covered by warranty protection. Wow. Heads must be torqued to spec. So 10/13 of 70, the motor in this car at 42,450 miles was rebuilt by Ford? That is a very interesting piece of information. Okay, I have seriously been going on long enough. I don't know how much personal documentation is going to be inside this. Like, I don't want to start digging through this on camera and have to blur out all the stuff, but we will figure out what's inside that thing, and I will let you guys know at some point once I'm able to go through it and see what's there. All right, guys, so this is the owner's portfolio that we found in the glove box of the 1950 Ford, and I've already looked through here, so but there's some pretty cool and unbelievable stuff inside. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of footage of some of the awesome things that are inside this document binder here that came with our 1950 Ford Tudor. So here we go. All right, so first things first, we looked at this briefly in the car, but this is the document basically that says that the engine in the car, and it gives a number on this date that it was installed in 1970 with the car, blah, blah, blah. So this to me explains why we have Mercury parts on a Ford headed engine. Now, we don't know, or I don't know for sure if the EAB engine was the 255 horse engine or not, but long story short, this explains and is consistent with the story of how this car wound up with the Ford appearing engine on a Mercury, or what a car that was equipped with a Mercury. So anyway, very cool. So I'm just going to show the date there. That says 5/25 of 1950. And then show you guys record of material used. So we have all of these different things, and if you look here, Hamblen County Motor Company. If you recall earlier in the video, you saw that on the back of the car. That's where this car came from, and this is basically an invoice from where they ordered options for the car. So this was inside that owner's portfolio, along with the engine document there. Just to show you guys here, basically this document right here, again, we try to make sure there's not personal information shown, but this, y'all, is the application for the title for this car. So we have the original application for the certificate of title here. So very cool. All right, guys, so we got those documents here, and then inside this, I'm not going to go through all this, but basically we have certificates of registration dating back to 1949. We have applications for registration basically all the way back to 1951 when this car was being registered for the first time by this owner. So very cool. There's some cool documents in here, you know, just advertisements and things like that. 1,000-mile inspection documents. I mean, we have tons and tons of original information in here. We have, let's see, purchaser statement. So I'm not sure what this was for, but that actually looks like it's for a different car. So I don't know. Maybe this was a car that they had before. The one that we're looking at here, I'm not really 100% sure. I haven't dug into details on these documents, but anyway, look at that old Gulf map there, Kentucky and Tennessee. This car spent its entire life in Tennessee. So very, very cool story here with these documents. But anyway, we'll get back to the video. But that very, very cool to have come inside the glove box of our 1950 Ford Tudor car. So that pretty much wraps it up for the inside of this car. We took a look at the seats. I believe these are seat covers, and there's some carpet that's been thrown up in the back. That door panel over there is pretty rotted out. It looks like it's been wet maybe. But yeah, again, I think these are seat covers because kind of right here you can see that there's a different material underneath where this one is, you know, just been damaged and torn by the sun probably. Who knows? Knowing this car, they may have never taken the seat covers off. Like these might have been on since day one. That wouldn't surprise me. Anyway, next up, we'll take a look inside the trunk. I've already had a little glimpse of what's inside the trunk, but I want to show you guys what is in there, and again, how this car is pretty much stuck in time. So let's check it out.